Hey guys, it's Rhett from the 100 Acre Wood Highlands. Today is the day that we are finally taking our steer to the butcher for processing. So we are taking a steer that we specifically saved back to be beef that was born about 2.5 years ago. And so we've had a little bit of a cool front come through, thankfully. We've had some rain the last few days, which had a little bit of a dry spell there for a while in August, but had some rain yesterday. Looks like we had some rain maybe last night or in the morning, but thankfully it's not raining right now. And we're supposed to get rain the rest of this whole week, so thankful it's not raining right now while we go and try to catch this cow. But this is a day we've been looking forward to for a little while. So, you know, in our family, we raise these Highlands both for pleasure, for business, for breeding, and selling to other people who want to have Highlands, and also for beef for our family, and we sell steers to other people who raise them up for beef for their family. So this will be the first time that we're processing one of our own steers. We've been selling steers the past few years to another gentleman who's been finishing them out, raising them up until it's the proper time, and then selling beef. In our business, I don't really think we're ever going to get to the point where we sell beef. Like to sell the calves to other people, but this will be a time where we process a steer to be beef for our own family. And so, you know, interesting time because it's both really exciting to be able to get all this beef that we've homegrown here on our own farm, and also, you know, a little bittersweet. Last night we had some good conversation with Lucy about, you know, we're taking a steer to be processed tomorrow. And, you know, she was a little sad. We talked about it, and it was a really neat opportunity to reflect and be thankful, just so thankful for the food that we eat. And, you know, I think that's something that a lot of people are just totally disconnected from. Where does the meat they eat and the produce that they eat come from? And, you know, Lucy, we have this conversation about deer. You know, we eat a lot of deer roasts, and she likes the concept of, you know, being a deer hunter. She likes to come and sit in the stand with me sometimes. But at the same time, she's always a little bit torn about, you know, well, I don't really want to shoot the deer. I just want to go and hunt for them, you know. So we talk about, though, every time we have a deer roast, you know, this is why we do this. This is not just for fun. You know, it's not trophy hunting, although we want to get a big buck if we have the opportunity. But, you know, we eat a lot of deer roasts, and we eat a lot of beef in our house. And, you know, a lot of times, unfortunately, we had to buy that from a grocery store if we can't, you know, if we don't have some ourselves. So this will be a really cool experience. I'm excited to find out how much beef we actually get. So this steer, like I mentioned, he's about 2.5 years old. He's not near as big as Momentous, our bull, who I think, I'd have to look back, is about 3.5 years old. And that's kind of one of the downsides to Highland beef, is that because they're a little slower maturing and a little slower growing, it takes longer for them to get to that full mature size. Now we could been feeding them out, you know, feeding them grain and corn and other things and put on the pounds, but we really don't choose to do that. We feed some cubes supplementally, and honestly not very much in the summertime. And we could have kept this steer maybe for another 6 months or so, but that would take him through the winter, and I didn't want to have to feed him out one more winter and then possibly come through out on the other end of winter being a little bit leaner if we have a hard winter. So now that it's the tail end of summer here, it's the right time. Excited to find out how much we get. But we're going to go find the cows now, maybe see if we get a good glimpse at the calf that was born a couple of weeks ago, head them all down to the corral and get to sorting them. So if this is your first time finding our channel, please subscribe. You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching 100 Acre Wood Highlands. Let's go find the cows. All right, well, here they come. Looks like they were all up in the other pasture. The new little calf is right there with their mama. Hopefully she figures it out and makes it through this gate and follows us down. This is a good thing about having them cube trained, is they know when to come running when you holler for them. Come on, cows, let's go. There's the baby. there's Momentous. Oh, Bully Bull. Hey, Bully Bull. Hey, Bully Bull. Bully Bull, what you doing? All right, steer hasn't made it out of the gate yet, but I think he'll follow. Here, cows, here! Come on, come on! Comes Irina and Dusty, our little brindle bull calf. We took our bull calves in to go get their ears tattooed a couple of weeks ago, waiting on our registration paperwork back, and then this guy will be up for sale soon. Comes Emporia. Now I have to remember if this is Annie or Pearl. I never can remember without looking at their ear tags, but she's looking good. There's little Hallie. What you want to bet she comes straight up to me here? Get in there. Yeah, she goes check out the Ranger. She said, I don't want to go in the corral, I'm going in the Ranger. Hey, Hallie. Here comes the steer. This guy running to us. So, not quite as big as he could be if we kept him longer, but I think it's going to work out good. There's that calf. So today we're down in the corral behind my parents' barn, and this corral was originally built 30 years ago, and it's a little fallen down. So I think this is one of the things on our project list, is to fix this up at some point. But for now, it'll work good to catch these cows and load them up in the trailer. One of the Hereford crosses. We got them all vaccinated and treated when we got the bull calves' ears tattooed, and so we're going to be selling those also. We've already got those up on our website, but let's go check out this little heifer that was born just a few weeks ago. He's a little skittish. So this is our little black bull that we have decided to keep as our new future herd sire. When we took him in to get his ears tattooed, he had some little flaky bits on his skin, and it's hard to see because of the hair, but he actually had like a little staph infection going on. So the vet techs, they gave him a good betadine scrub down, treated him for that. It looks like he's doing a lot better, but it was interesting because you couldn't see these little scabbed areas until you got up pretty close and put your hands on him because of all the hair. But I think he's doing quite a bit better now. Hey Bernie, how are you, Bernie? Bernadette. Okay, well, he was fairly easy to load. Walked right down the alley, got in the trailer, got it shut in here behind him. Kind of a weird experience because growing up, my parents processed cows, and I remember that, but you know, I was a kid. I wasn't really the one actively involved in doing any of it, taking them to the butcher. So this is actually the first time I've ever hauled a cow to the butcher myself. When I was in school and I showed pigs, at the end of the show season, we'd go to the Oklahoma Youth Expo during spring break, show your animals, and at the end, you'd walk them all the way down and sell them on a semi. And it's kind of a weird, same feeling to that, but it's just a really good reminder of, you know, in order for us to eat, something's got to die. And this guy had a great life here on the farm. You know, we didn't name this cow. I know there's other YouTubers that I love to watch, you know, like Arms Family, they had that steer, Big Mac. We didn't name this guy because from birth, the intention of this guy was he was going to be beef someday, either for us or somebody else. And so, oh, Pepper, I thought you were going to get me. So, glad we have this opportunity. He's loaded up, we're ready to go. Butcher isn't very far away, probably about a 30-minute drive. And then we'll be headed back until they call us and say he's ready. All right, well, it's been a little over 2 weeks and we have our Highland beef back. And tonight we are going to be grilling up a couple of these small fillets. This is my favorite type of steak. Very excited, but I took some notes to talk about what all we got, how much it cost, and maybe a couple of ideas of some things we do different, but I'm excited to try these. So the total time, it took 14 days of hanging time. That's kind of standard for anywhere from 10 to 14 or sometimes maybe a little longer at a butcher, and that kind of increases the tenderness and lets all the blood and things drain out. Then there was 2 days to freeze it, and then we picked this meat up yesterday. It came in cardboard boxes, in vacuum sealed packages, and the live weight of the steer was 738 pounds. And this is one of the things that I think could potentially be changed in the future, is that if we had kept him maybe another 6 months till he was, you know, fully 3 years old instead of just 2.5 or so, we might have got closer to, you know, 1,000-pound steer, and we would have ended up with more beef. Because the hanging weight, you know, when they get rid of the hide, the head, the guts, and all that stuff, you lose a significant portion. I was kind of just guesstimating we'd get about 60% of whatever the hanging weight was. We actually ended up getting 52% of the hanging weight, so we got 385 pounds of beef, and it cost us $460. And the way that was broke down was there was a 95 cents per pound processing fee, an $85 slaughter fee, and a $10 disposal fee. But that still works out way, way better than buying beef at the grocery store right now. Total packages, like individual packages, whether it was ground beef or steaks or roasts or whatever, was 204 packages. And it definitely looks like a lot. We filled up the freezer that we have, had to go and put the rest of it in my mom's freezer down the road, and it looks like a ton of beef. The ground beef, we elected to get it in 1 pound packages, and we ended up with 111 pounds of ground beef. We have 48 packages of steaks, each one with 2 steaks in it, so 96 steaks total. We got a ton of roasts and stew meat, and we had 10 pounds of pre-made hamburger. And that was the only thing we weren't able to pick up yesterday. They said that wasn't quite ready yet, but it'd be ready in a few more days, and we could go get that from them. And one thing I wasn't expecting to get, because when you get the you know, drop off the steer at the butcher, they gave us a sheet to go fill out. You know, do you want this type of steak or that type of steak? Do you like the New York strip, the fillets? You know, what kind of things do you want? Do you want this kept whole? Do you want it ground? Do you want the liver? You know, it had a long question list. And one of the things that I didn't see on the list and I didn't really ask for, but I'm excited to try, is we got 7 ossobuco. which I had to look it up, but it's basically a shank cut of the leg. It's got a bone in it, and it's an Italian dish, and so I'm excited to try that. I'll have to look up some recipes to see. But, you know, a couple of things that we could try different next time. We could keep the steer a little bit longer if we wanted for a bigger steer, although, you know, almost 400 pounds of beef is way more than we could probably eat anytime soon. So we're probably going to end up, you know, giving some of that to my mom, giving some to my sister, you know, sharing some of that stuff. And potentially, off this flavor, we might decide that we would like to grain finish a steer someday to see how that works out differently. One thing, the butcher said that the meat looked great, said it had really good marbling look to it, and so, you know, she expects it to be pretty good. I guess we'll know here in a little bit, but definitely have a freezer full of meat right now. So we found out afterwards that we could have asked for prepackaged beef sticks, like, you know, like a Slim Jim type of beef stick. And if I would have known that was an option, I probably would have asked for some of those too, because we eat a lot of chomps and, you know, meat sticks like that. It's a good snack. And so next time I'll definitely get some of those to try. One kind of regret that I've got right now thinking is that we don't have another steer that will be old enough to process for another 2.5 years currently, because the 3 cows that we currently have that are weaning age that are for sale are bull calves. So we kept them intact. We've got the registration paperwork sent in, got their hair samples all taken, and sent that off actually this week. So hopefully we'll have our registration packets back before real long. But we have one calf that was just born recently that we could turn into a steer, but we don't have any that'll be ready in another year or so. And so I don't know exactly how long this beef will last us, but it seems like we'll eat all this up and then have a gap before we have another one that's old enough to process. So probably figuring out a way to manage that to where you have maybe one available every year or so would be a good idea. Let's see how these look. Just put a little bit of steak seasoning on there. I think they look pretty good. Okay, well, we have these cooked kind of to how we like them. We're gonna go inside and eat dinner, and then I'll show you guys a few of the things in the freezer of what we got to look forward to. Well, it looks good to me. Well, after eating those fillets, I think I take back what I said about grain finishing out the steer next time, because I liked it exactly how it was. For some reason, I was a little nervous that maybe it wouldn't have enough fat on it, because Highlands can be leaner than some other breeds of cows, and so I was worried that having it really only grass finished may not give it enough marbling, but it was excellent. And so up next that we're going to try soon this week, we're going to have a roast, and maybe soon we'll try out some of these ribeyes. But thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching 100 Acrewood Highlands. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.